ciudad acerca del barrio de Gateway, que son acerca de unas inspecciones que son inconstitucionales.
What has surprised me since that event took place is that my office has received a regular supply of phone calls from additional tenants in Gateway and in other parts of the city who read about it and are calling me because they have also experienced similar intrusions by code enforcement. And their stories are largely the same.
Lo que me ha sorprendido es que hemos estado recibiendo llamadas constantemente, no solo de la gente que está viviendo ahí, de los que están rentando estos lugares, pero de muchas otras gentes que viven ahí también, porque
The stories are basically the same.
las historias básicamente son las mismas de estos abusos.
What we're told are that people are not getting notices, and code inspection then demands to be let in.
Estamos constantemente nos están diciendo que no hay avisos donde la gente fue avisada de que iban a hacer estas inspecciones.
For those who want to deny code enforcement access, code enforcement sometimes physically pushes their way in.
Y muchas veces han sido forzadas estas inspecciones entrando ilegalmente a estas habitaciones, a estos lugares.
For those who are able to physically resist or who got their doors locked, code enforcement then issues threats, both of criminal prosecution, excessive fines, and other entanglements with government.
Para aquellos y aquellas que se oponen a este tipo de inspecciones, les amenazan y hay gente que también ha tenido esta multas, amenazan con multas o con otros castigos.
Code enforcement is coming at all hours of the day and night. People are telling me that at 8 p.m., code enforcement is showing up at their door and pushing their way in.
Que están llegando a la policía como 8 de la noche y se meten en la casa de la gente, ¿no?
I had one woman tell me that her roommate was in bed undressed and code enforcement went into her bedroom.
Una mujer me dijo que aún estaba ella en la noche desvestida y aún así la policía entró y llegó hasta el cuarto donde estaba ella.
What is particularly jarring and disturbing are some of the actions that code enforcement has taken with regard to what could possibly be serious code enforcement. I don't know because I haven't seen them.
Lo que más me desconcierta es que ha habido cosas muy graves que todavía no las veo yo todavía, pero que si son ciertas va a tener graves consecuencias y estuve muy alarmada por el que me
I met a woman today who had moved into Gateway after having been thrown out or forced out of her home at Stockton City Motel on November 6, 2014.
Hablé con una mujer hoy que vive en Gateway, que la sacaron de un motel, al City Motel, y fue un motel en la ciudad
November 6th.
el 6 de noviembre del 2014.
That date is like embedded in her brain.
Esa fecha está incrustada en su cerebro, en su mente.
The city came down that day on November 6th, sometime mid-morning, and told her that she had to leave by 5 p.m.
La ciudad vino el mediodía y le dijo que tenía que irse a esa hora de la tarde.
She was able to pack a few clothes, her medication, a few photos, some mementos, and that was it.
Apenas le dio tiempo de hacer maletas para llevar un poco de ropa, sus medicinas, y se fue todo lo que pudo tomar.
She had to leave everything else, all her furniture, all of her personal belongings. She was forced to leave, and she was put into what she called a seedy hotel.
Y no pudo llevarse nada más, todos sus muebles y todas sus pertenencias personales no se las pudo llevar y se fue
Now, November 6th is the beginning of the month, and she had paid her November rent.
Noviembre 6 era el día que ella tenía que pagar la renta y ya sí lo había pagado.
She was put into the motel for a month, and then she was rendered homeless.
Y estuvo, la pusieron en ese motel por un mes y luego se quedó indigente, se quedó sin hogar.
She was bounced around for 6 months on family members' couches, in shelters, and for the good graces of her friends, and there were times when she was on the street.
Estuvo 6 meses vagando en casas de amigos, en refugios y muchas veces acababa en la calle, en las calles.
Now, this woman had tears in her eyes when she's telling me this.
Y esta mujer tenía lágrimas en sus mejillas cuando me estaba contando esta historia.
She didn't get back her security deposit.
No le dieron su depósito que ella le dio.
She lost all of her belongings, all of her furniture, everything she left in that apartment.
Perdió todas sus posesiones, todos sus muebles, todo lo que tenía de valor lo perdió.
A friend of hers got her into Gateway.
Una amiga de ella la metió aquí a Gateway, a esta comunidad de Gateway.
Now, does she blame the owner of where she was living for the fact that her place was closed?
Se pregunta si ella culpó al dueño de que cerraron este lugar.
Because I asked her that question. I said, well, who caused the problem? Did it need repairs? And she said, yes, it needed repairs.
Porque les pregunto esta pregunta, ¿no? Para ustedes. ¿Quién va a ser responsable de esto, de arreglar estos departamentos?
But what she told me was that the owner of the property, 2 years before this happened, had a stroke, and he could not do the work because it was a family-owned business.
Pero ella le dijo que 2 años antes el dueño había dicho que iba a arreglar estos departamentos, pero tuvo una embolia, entonces no pudo hacer esto.
And what she said was, after his stroke, the maintenance went downhill.
Dice que después de la embolia del dueño, todo se vino para abajo, ¿no? El mantenimiento de estas habitaciones.
And as I'm sitting here, I'm getting hot under the collar because I can see this woman's face sitting on her couch with tears in her eyes and her telling me that she lived at this place for 7 years and then she was homeless for 6 months.
Ya como les platico esto, pues me llena de mucha rabia, ¿no? De que esta mujer estuvo viviendo ahí por 7 años y estuvo 6 meses en la calle sin casa cuando estuve viviendo.
So when code enforcement comes to people's homes and they tell them, if you don't cooperate with me, you're going to be homeless, these people know because they hear it from their neighbors that this happens and it happens over and over and the city doesn't do anything to help them with the transition.
Y entonces cuando llega la policía y les dice a los que están rentando, si no cooperas con nosotros te vas a quedar en la calle, estas personas saben que sí es cierto, como le pasó a esta mujer. Y entonces ustedes como ciudad pues tienen que tener algo de responsabilidad para que esto no suceda.
Now I'm a trial lawyer and what I do is litigate and I litigate in front of 12 jurors.
Soy una abogada y yo litigo y estoy acostumbrada a hacer esto y estoy enfrente hasta de 12 jueces.
So when this woman comes to me and she calls me, she says, can you help me? I think, how would this story play in front of 12 jurors? That a woman who's a senior, lived in a place for 7 years, gets less than 8 hours notice to move and loses all her belongings, and the city does nothing to help her.
Entonces me pregunto, cuando yo voy a llegar este caso con la Suprema Corte, a ver qué va a pasar, que una señora viejita que está viviendo por 7 años, que le notificaron con 8 horas de anticipación y que la hayan dejado en la calle por 6 meses. ¿Qué va a pasar cuando se sepa que la ciudad no hizo nada por apoyarla?
Now, the people who call me are aggrieved, and I understand that many of them feel completely alienated from their government.
Se sienten que no tienen apoyo de parte de su gobierno.
They don't register to vote, they don't vote.
No están registrados para votar, no votan.
And the fact that the Federal Department of Justice has included Stockton in a grant for improving police and community relations is not a badge of honor.
Y que ahora el gobierno les haya dado más presupuesto para que mejoren, le hayan dado más dinero a la policía, pues no es una medalla de honor. Es algo que se debe estar considerando más.
The reason why Stockton has been awarded and included in that grant is because the Department of Justice has noticed that Stockton has a serious problem in terms of police and community relations.
La razón por la que el gobierno federal, el Departamento de Justicia, les ha dado este dinero es porque saben que las relaciones de la policía con la comunidad no están nada bien.
And when I hear these stories over and over and over from 50, 60, 70 people, and this is all under the auspices of the police department, then there is something very seriously wrong, and it is your responsibility to look into this and fix it.
Cuando escucho las historias, ¿no?, de 40, 50, 60, 70 personas con esto mismo y todas quejándose de la parte de la policía, entonces eso quiere decir que pues ustedes tienen que tener la responsabilidad de cómo arreglar este problema con la gente.
Thank you. We'd like to hear from some of the residents now.
I'm not quite finished yet.
Can you?
I will. There's seating time. So what I want to say is when I submitted the civil claim, I met with the deputy city attorney who represented to me that we were going to be invited to the table to talk about the Blitz program. And I want to say that I haven't received a call yet.
Esto, ahorita hablamos que ya se le había acabado el tiempo, pero Anthony Silva dijo un poquito más si lo apuramos. Y lo que está diciendo la abogada es que mandó una solicitud para que esto se llevara a cabo, que se pusiera en la agenda del proyecto que se llama Blitz, que no ha recibido ninguna respuesta todavía.
What I am hearing is that the city attorney has instructed the elected officials of the city of Stockton not to meet with their aggrieved constituents about this serious problem.
Lo que he oído es que tienen órdenes de no reunirse con la gente que está llevando este caso con los abogados, y entonces es una pregunta de lo que está pasando.
Now I want to say that there is no statute in California, there is no case law, and there is no legal reason that elected city officials refuse to meet with constituents that they represent under any circumstances.
Y que si la gente que está aquí en este consejo no se quiere juntar en una reunión con la gente que los eligió, no hay ningún estipulado en la Constitución que diga que esto es posible.
Thank you, Counselor. Let's hear from
I have
the
one more
residents.
sentence, and that is that it is the responsibility and duty of elected officials to meet and hear and address the concerns of their constituents. And if you guys are going to refuse to do so based upon the wrongful instruction from the city attorney, then I would say that is a dereliction of your responsibility as elected officials.
And finalmente, les quiero decir esta última parte, de que si como consejo del abogado de la ciudad ustedes no se juntan con la gente que les eligió, esto es un grave infringir de la ley que tienen que considerar.
I'm going to give the clerk my card. Please give me a call.
Le voy a dar mi contacto para que por favor me puedan llamar.
Okay, so any residents here, come forward. We'll give. Do you want to use this mic or do you want the wireless mic?
We just want you to know.
Okay, ma'am. Counselor, we're fine. Sure.
Sorry. Okay, when they first came,
Your name, ma'am.
oh, my name is Catherine Summy. Okay, and I lived in K3, and the first time they came to the door, and they said that they had to come in, so we let them in. And the guy was extremely rude and disrespectful. and you could tell, and I'm not dealing you could tell I'm disabled, and I said, can you wait? I said, my in-home care provider's 2 doors down. He says, well, your bed's not made, your clothes, he wrote down all this stuff, really disrespect, and I tried to explain to him, I said, no, this is my in-home is coming at 11 o'clock. Then we let him in, and he wrote down a bunch of stuff, came back. The second time, the letter, we did everything he told us to do, and he cleared us. The third time he came in, he was at the door, the bug inspector was on the side, and I said, no, you can't come in, my roommate is upstairs. And I don't want to say this in public, but she was not dressed properly, let's just say. And I said, you can't come in. He proceeded to come in and still pushed his way in, went upstairs, and saw my roommate with nothing on. And he was very rude and disrespectful. And the way he came into our home, and I'm sorry, that really upset me quite a bit because I'm already traumatized by violence. You know, I was badly beaten, and for him to come in like that, and then he kept harassing us. And I think that was really inappropriate for him to do that. And I told him he could not come in, and he still did, and it really upset me. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you. Okay, next is come up and tell us your name and your address.
Hello, my name is April. I also live in 20 Gateway, and I'm also speaking on behalf of my boyfriend, Richard McDonald. In the month of January, they did send a notice on my gate, and when I had took it to the office, they said that we didn't have to let them in. So when they did came in the door, I wasn't for sure what kind of inspection, because I just had inspection with housing. But he said it was through the city. I didn't know he was going to search for weapons or drugs. I don't have none of that in my house. But he went through my bottom bathroom, up the stairs, and in the up top where my bedroom, and looked through the medication and everything. The second time he came out, I was in the shower. When he came in my house, I was coming down the stairs. Luckily, I just got dressed. He was coming up the stairs, and I was going down the stairs. My boyfriend had told him that I was just got out of the shower, but apparently he did not care. The third time, I wasn't home. My boyfriend was home. He went through my boyfriend's medication, asking him questions about which medication was his, because my boyfriend has heart problems, seizures, and everything, so he takes medication on a daily basis. He had no reason to search for his medication and ask him questions. He is not no doctor. So I want to thank you on my behalf.
Thank you. Say it louder a little.
Hi, I'm Larry Leva. I'm from Gateway Court, H1. I have CP. I have heart problems. And on the day they came to my house, sorry, I got problems. They came to my house, pushed their way into my house. They said they could force it. They said, you don't want me in the house. They could do a search warrant and make me pay for it. And my wife told I went in because I can't pay for it. I'm on disability. And I was nervous and scared, freaked out. And thank you, Mayor. I feel I can't trust the city that much anymore. And I can't trust Police Department because what they did to me. Sorry.
My name is Sarah Strand from Truman Maltby. We live at D17 Gateway Court. And first time they came out, I highlighted the part that said you're not legally bound to allow entry into your dwelling. I highlighted that and put it on my door. Second time, I was walking out to my daughter's bus, and I showed them paper with it highlighted. I said, I don't have to let you in. So then they served me with a warrant to come in. When they did come in, they were in and out of there so quick. They came in, they looked around, we had to chase them down to try to tell them what was wrong with the apartment. There's a lot of things that need fixed. But they came in, looked around, seen that we didn't have anything that they were thinking we had, and we're gone. They didn't look for anything. I mean, there were stuff that's really, really bad, needs fixed. They didn't point it out. My husband chased them down and said, hey, what about the air conditioner? We haven't had one, been here 3 years. Oh, okay, put that on the list too. Nobody's done any work. But the drug dealers in the neighborhood, they got all their houses fixed right away when code enforcement came. Every one of them got their stuff stuff done. But nobody else can. Nobody that's working hard and paying for their place to live, they don't care. Nothing's getting fixed, nothing's getting done. So what was the point of letting them in? They just want to look around and see who's there, it's not right. So that's all I have to say.
So I guess we found a way to spend our tax dollars attacking the poor. I hope the city manager and Michael Tubbs and all the other council members up here took note of what these people have to say, because is there a whole other group of people that are coming here to explain how the police are overstepping their boundaries, squashing their constitutional rights. Probably would have helped if we had cameras on them then. Really would have. They call us vigilantes when we point out everything the police department's not doing for the people. A man just came up here a while ago and said, you know, when he was a few years back, you know, when Stockton wasn't as bad as it is, they used to live a certain way, and he lost his father. So I don't think anything's changed since then, except for the militarization of our police. I think we still got a chief that can't even find those assault weapons they misplaced. Got us kicked out of that federal program that gave us all those cool military weapons. I think we need to start looking for new leadership. I don't know why we let some of these people go from council members to board of supervisors, or that baffles me. How we could keep thinking that this police chief's going to represent the people, uphold the Constitution. And the funniest thing is that you guys think he can keep you safe by charging the taxpayers more money. Does anybody here feel safer? Since you had to pay more taxes, raise your hand. If you feel safer, just raise your hand. Oh, I didn't bring all these people here. And I don't see one hand. Not even Michael Tubbs feels safe. Nobody's raising their hand. Not one security guard, not city manager, even though he ain't from here. Nobody feels safer. And the police, yeah, well, it's because they don't live here, you're right. And the police chief, he don't care. So, good luck with being safe, good luck with your tax dollars. Seems like we're going to be litigating some of those. So, maybe we need to raise some more taxes.
Okay.